Hey guys, this is Dan Collier and I am your personal development and business coach. And I've got some great advice to give to you today and share with you because I love you. All right, so today what we're talking about is your personal place in life, how you feel about yourself and how others feel about you. Okay, and this is extremely important because it has everything to do with how much money you make. It has everything to do with how people in relationships treat you, how your friends treat you, how your spouse or your girlfriend or boyfriend treats you, and how your boss at work might treat you, or how your clients might treat you. It has everything to do with their perception about you. And like it or not, everything about ourselves that we present to the world has to do with that perception that we give off and that they believe about us. So, if we want to be everything that we want to be, to accomplish in life, to receive our personal peace, our financial wealth, the benefits of our relationships and how great they are, has everything to do with our perception of ourselves and what we're giving off to the public. So I'm going to ask you a question today, and don't worry, everyone has done this. Have you ever wished that someone just understood you better? That they just, I've seen many times where people say, well, if they just knew me, if they knew who I was, they would do business with me. If they just knew me better, then the client would go along with the project. Or if they just knew me better, my relationship would go better. They would be like, oh, well, I trust you. Or, oh, well, that'll work out better. The problem is we have ourselves put out a perception at some point in time, which is called a label or a brand. And like it or not, we do this constantly in our conversations with other people, in our interactions, in the clothes we wear, in the things that we do. We brand ourselves. We actually are a product, and every conversation we have, when we talk to people, we tell them in little bits and pieces about who we are, what we stand for, what we're all about, and we actually tell them and we show them how we can be treated. All right, so like it or not, it's the way it works. People do judge a book by its cover because they can't read your innermost thoughts. Not everybody has been around you like your mom or your dad or your sister or brother. Most people out there are judging you based off of how you present your product, how you present yourself out to the world. And that information that you're sending out and how they perceive it is how then you are treated. That impression, again, is called a label. And people do label people. I mean, you can go back to junior high or go back to elementary school or high school, and people would put a label on somebody, and some of those labels would stick with them a lifetime. So it's very important, the brand and the impression of your own self that you put out to the public. And if it's a bad one, it's time to change that. And if it's a good one, it's time to make it better, because everybody wants to have more peace. They want to have more love, more joy, more money, whatever it is. They want to experience life in a better way. And our interactions with other people, it's very important to express that in the way that we can receive the things that we want. So, like I said, we are constantly marketing ourselves to others. Whether you believe it or not, if it's a political conversation, you're stating what you believe about that particular political candidate or information about that. If somebody's talking about a relationship things, you will be saying, well, I like this and I don't like that, or I stand for this and I don't stand that. That is a brand. That is who we are establishing ourselves to be. One of the big problems that we face is that once we are labeled a certain way, it can be difficult to break that, because sometimes people like to, let's say they want to make themselves feel better, so they will hold on to a certain perception of you so that they feel here and they can keep you there. We don't want that to happen. Also, it is extremely hard when you meet someone. Think about it. When you first meet someone, you generally can only go by, let's say, you go by whether they're nice or not. And you might look at the way they dress, their clothes. You might check out their demeanor. And then you can say, you know what, this person seems pretty nice, maybe I'll be friends with them. However, you still have this period where you're like, a doubting period, where it's like in a relationship, you start dating someone, you have to see over time whether you can trust them. And then you'll learn little bits and pieces about the person as you go along. Why does that happen? Because it takes a while sometimes to come out and brand yourself to the other person or market yourself in a way where the person starts to understand it, can trust it. Okay, so I want to get that perception out there because all of us are doing that. And no one, when you first meet someone, you walk up to them and say, hey, how you doing? My name's Dan. Pause right there. Let me go down my entire life, a list of scenarios and things, and let me prove to you who I am. A man and a woman are talking. And normally in that conversation, both of these two people who meet each other, they're trying to basically present their resume in some way, back and forth in this banter, into which one or the other person impresses them so much that maybe they can get a date, okay, or something goes along those lines. So that is a marketing, that is a type of brand that you're putting out there. The same thing goes when you try to get a job or that you're trying to get new clients. This is the way it works. So you're either doing it right or you're doing it wrong when it comes to terms of what you're getting back in your life. So I want to help you right now improve and increase your personal brand to the world by doing some very simple tactics. Okay, so knowing that this can take a long time in the traditional sense of this psychological ways of doing it, because like I said, it's not socially appropriate to run down this big long list of narcissistic, ego-driven things and go, oh, let me tell you about this and let me tell you about that. What we want to do is be able to establish ourselves with someone else in the quickest way possible without being arrogant, and also we need to reinvent and reestablish our own self if we're not quite in the place we want to be. So this can be done in a very simple tactic, and I'm going to solve this problem for you that you're facing each and every day. First of all, figure out what it is you really want. If it's more money, if it's a better relationship, if it's better quality friends, if it's whatever it is, more free time, need to figure out what it is you want, and then become that person mentally, and then reestablish that to yourself and to other people. Once you figure out what exactly it is you want out of life, simply sit down and write out 4 or 5 key phrases that represent who you are and what you want. So take, for example, I'll give this, like let's say you want to make sure that people understand you have a business, or you have a type of industry that you work in where people need to know that you're honest. So you write down, your key phrase is that I am an honest person and I make sure things are done in an honest fashion. Whatever it may be, whatever phrase you want to come up with that represents something to do with honesty. And so there's one of your key phrases. In your sentences, in your conversations and things with other people, this is ingrained in you. And in those sentences, you make sure that that is a key factor in your conversations about a certain subject, that you establish with other people that you are honest in the things that you do. And now, since you've established that, you will have a reputation to your own personal self to be honest with yourself, and then honest with other people, and then live up to that. Okay, so now you've established a certain type of respect that deals with honesty. Okay, it's relationships, and you want to establish this type of understanding so that you don't run into these problems that people run into with the destruction of relationship or business, where people need to understand that you're going to stick to the things that you do, and you want to establish that you are a faithful person. You write down, I'm a faithful person. I do not deviate from my relationships and people trusting me. So now what you're doing in your key phrases and conversations like we talked about, you are establishing, and whatever the subject matter is, when it comes to you, you establish you are faithful, and you actually have to live up to that as well. Okay, you're not being simply like a politician where you're lying to the public and living the secret life behind the scenes. That's not going to work for you with the universal laws of, let's say, attraction. You're not going to get good outcome in the end. Let's say you're in a position where you need to be honorable. You're in a position somewhere and you need to establish that, and few people really ever think about themselves personally as being an honorable person. It's not even a subject to talk about very much, but honor, back in the day, honor was very important. So you write down, and when somebody hears you, I honor my work. I honor my business relationships and things. So these are write down the key phrases that has to do with something in the area that you want, like honor. The next one is love. People like to know that you're a person capable of showing love and empathy to someone else. And so if it's part of your paradigm in your relationships with people, they need to know that you care about them. So part of your conversation piece about you that you establish, you make sure that it is dealing with things about how much you love people and you love working with them and you love making them happy. Okay, the reason I'm bringing this up, and I want to establish this in a way in which you kind of understand it. As you go throughout the day, most people don't understand how many words in their sentences and even talking in their own mind going on and on of how they keep telling themselves words and things that don't support the place they want to go and that doesn't support how they want other people to see them. So if basically you're running into that same problem where you feel like if people just really knew me, okay, so right now you're unknown to them, but if they really knew you, you would get farther in life. And the way to start doing that is establishing this outward brand to other people. Immediately, right when you meet them, it's not about just forcing yourself on them, try to brand, because in some way you are going to brand yourself. You want to have those conversation pieces pre-established in your mind so that now the people that you encounter, your friends, family, your business relationships, whatever, and even in your own mind, you are establishing that you've reinvented yourself to become this person who's going to this place, and these are the key phrases. I tell you this because there is an absolute mind science to all of this. It is the same type of tactics that is used when a politician who maybe you have an obscure politician in a small town or some area and a few people know him there, but in the grand majority of the whole entire country, let's say they're running for president, people don't know who they are. So a PR campaign company will come in, a marketing company will come in, they'll establish who and what this person is, what they stand for, and then from that point in time, this person, everywhere they go, will establish these same key points and same key phrases that stick in people's head, and so that the people that vote for them are then have no doubt, it's established in their mind that this candidate is honest, faithful, he has honor, and he loves helping people. Because those phrases have been repeated by him in the campaign so much that now people understand that this is who they are and this is how they're to be treated. Okay, and this will work in your life, and it can happen very quickly as you keep establishing these same words to yourself, because then you'll start to believe it and live up to those expectations. And then other people will start to understand this is who you are, this is how you're supposed to be treated, this is how you will treat them, and this is where you will start to go in life, because your relationships will improve, your business will improve, the way you feel about yourself will improve, because you have reinvented and rebranded yourself. You've gone from unknown to other people, and really a lot of times unknown to your own self, to being known. This is who I am, this is what I stand for, this is what I'm going to do, and this is where I'm going. And it's all done through reinventing yourself or rebranding yourself to the public. And it absolutely works. All right, this is Dan. This is the first series of 3 videos that I'm going to be sending out. And the next one we're going to talk about, and it's another problem area that you will need to overcome, and that deals with respect. And everything we do in life evolves around how others respect us. What we get as far as same things, money, what we get is how we're treated in relationships, how our kids treat us, how everything, our persona surrounding respect. In the second video, be looking for it, will establish how to create respect in your life, not in a negative way, but in a positive way, positive respect that helps you get along better with other people, and it helps you move to the place you want to be in your career and your life. Thanks a lot, guys. This is Daniel Collier. We'll see you on the next video.